Welcome to DreamWeaver and Chill, and thanks for chilling with me. This week, I have someone that we all know, we all love. We have BaggerVance. Bagger, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me tonight.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I know we talked about maybe you didn't have the depth of game experience that you thought it was necessary to be on the show. But let me assure you, that is not necessary. Your only requirement is to be awesome, and you got that, so we're good.
Well, I try. That's all I can do.
So what's going on with you lately? In the game, what's going on with you?
Oh, we are, I don't know, how do we put this? We are kind of doing our own thing, and we want to be left alone to do our own thing. And that's kind of all I can say about it. We enjoy the game. We enjoy the family that we have, extended and otherwise, and we're doing what we do.
I think we're in the same boat. We just want to play the game and turn it off and live our lives and then come back.
Exactly.
Seems like some other people have a different idea, though.
Well, some take it more seriously than others.
And that's what we're not about here. We're not about taking this game seriously. It's a game.
The game is the game. Our friends and family are what they are.
Yeah, I mean,
friends and family greater than game is kind of my favorite saying about this whole thing.
It's interesting. I mean, I've been playing this game since 2018. And that's a long time.
It is.
Well, let me ask you this. When did you start playing Star Trek Fleet Command? And do you remember your first alliance?
Well, I downloaded the game the week after Christmas in 2018. And I kind of knew this question was coming, so I looked it up on my phone. But I downloaded the game the week after Christmas in 2018. I didn't really actually start playing it until probably 6 to 8 months later. I was kind of muddling my way through and not really doing much until I actually kind of got the hang of it. But I was at least middle of 2019, which is a good year after everybody else started.
That's a good time to show up, yeah.
It was. But it put me way behind everybody else. So I missed a lot. I missed a lot of growth early on. And I look at my position now, and I'm way behind everybody pretty much. I mean, I think I've got a decent account right now, but...
Now, do you spend a lot, or are you mostly free to play?
I am probably 90% free to play. I do the battle pass. I do the occasional resource pack every month, but that's strictly it.
Yeah. Nowadays, that's free to play. You know, $20, maybe $40 a month. It's better than a mortgage.
Absolutely.
What was that first alliance you were in? Do you remember?
I don't remember the name. I know it was Star Wars based because it was an open alliance, and my original name was Nerf Herder.
I know that.
I know you do. But I kind of gravitated to, okay, I'm 10, 11, 12. I forget what level I was exactly, but I found a Star Wars based alliance that was open, and I joined it. And like I said, I don't remember what the name was. But I spent 8 months or so there before I got recruited to Zeke, which was part of the Z Coalition.
Oh, I know those guys.
And that's where I really started to play the game.
I like Ant.
Ant?
He's an interesting guy.
Ant's a good guy. There were a lot of good guys in that coalition.
There were like 5 or 6 different alliances there?
As far as I knew, there were only 3, but I don't know if by the time I actually got to know everybody, if they'd morphed into 3 or they dropped a couple. As far as I knew, there were only 3. There was Ant, there was Sancho, and there was us. And Ewalker, or Bazzmaster as he's known now, was my admiral.
And they, I guess it's kind of like cold would be Sancho's, right?
Yep.
Maybe pizza.
Cold is Sancho. Pizza is Ant.
And there's I don't know where the third one went.
The third one actually merged with ZFG.
Oh, really?
That's how we wound up here.
So were you in ZFG when I was in ZFG? Is that where?
I was not.
You weren't? Okay.
No, I was not. I knew you were there, but that was way beyond that whole kind of revolution that happened, and I don't even know if that's the right term.
Which one, It was... We did all kinds of stuff. We did things that no one ever needs to know about.
I've heard some of those stories, and again, no one needs to know, so we'll leave those where they are.
and most of them, most were sanctioned by the council. Most of what I did was not sanctioned by the council.
I have no knowledge of what you speak.
Yeah. I enjoyed my time there, I'll tell you that.
It's a great group. Obviously, by the time I got there, it was after the split. But I was, and kind of funny how this kind of all played out. I was on a Discord server with Mal Reynolds and Heather Ann, and we became really good friends there. And I was kind of the ambassador for Zeke, which was our Z Coalition alliance at the time. And we kind of dissolved the Z Coalition and kind of went our own way. And we were looking to make a move with our group. And ZFG just kind of became a match based on my friendship with Mal and Heather.
I like Mal a lot. He's a pervert, but I like him a lot.
That may or may not be why you like him, but Mal's a great guy. He really is. He's one of my best friends in the game. But we just kind of worked it out. We took everybody that I had in Zeke, and we're actually able to move them all into ZFG when we merged, and it was perfect. And it's been great ever since.
I would say they're one of the best alliances at merging with people. They've absorbed a few alliances that way.
They have, but in the process of that, we have developed a very strong family in this community and game that we have, and that's important to this group.
So you were there after Black Widow left?
Yes.
Okay.
Way after, actually. I think there were 2 or 3 different iterations between Black Widow leaving and us joining.
Well, let me ask you about how you play the game. What is your personal code of ethics in the game? What do you fight for?
I fight for 2 things. Number 1 is don't be a dick. Just because you have the bigger ship and the bigger power and you care about the Phantom PD stat doesn't mean you get to run roughshod over everybody lesser than you. And that's probably my biggest thing. Don't be a bully, don't be a dick.
It'd be great if that was the way it was.
I wish.
But I will tell you this. I don't usually raid bases that are larger than me or higher level. If I'm going to raid you, it's probably going to be a weaker, lower level.
Well, the sad reality is if you're raiding alone, you really can't go above. You have to go below.
Exactly.
And for better or worse, that's part of the game.
So you're probably not a guy who gets a lot of hate mail.
Not so much. I mean, I kind of go out of my way to not take on the little guy. So the people I hit are, wow, you actually hit me? Good for you.
I used to antagonize people with little PMs after I'd hit them, but I'm much nicer now.
No, my favorite trick was, and I had some higher level friends teach me this one, but my favorite thing was after I got done raiding, I would be like, thank you for sharing. Please leave the door open again so I can share some more.
I've done that to a grow. There's a guy in grow that he was in Opla, kind of probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in that system. And man, he would stock up, and he wouldn't shield. I would raid him. He would yell some obscenities at me, and then I would say, thank you for your donation, and thank you for the kind words. And then I would check back in a couple of days, and there he is, full again, and shields down. He finally moved. After like 3-4 weeks, he moved finally.
To answer the specific question, I guess my worst hate mail ever.
Yeah, what's your worst hate mail?
I rated, and I think it was only one level below me, which kind of made me laugh at first. But I rated a guy, and he went on and on about how I ruined his game, and he's not strong enough to actually do that himself. And it eventually warped around to, can I help him? I actually spent the next 2 weeks helping him raid. So I can call it hate, but I don't even know if I can ultimately classify it as hate mail.
It's kind of like a college application.
Yeah, kind of.
He was applying to your school of rating. One of my funniest things is when they say, and this will, you maybe hit an envoy or you know, whatever, it's a smaller miner, and they'll say, oh, it took used a 1,000,000 power ship to kill my miner. And I'm like, well, what else am I supposed to use, man? Like, I don't know what the threshold is to where it's okay. If I hit you with my 300,000 Kumari, is that cool? Like, I still killed you.
Would that make you feel better? You're still going to die, and I'm going to take your node. So does that really make you feel better?
Yeah, it was just a weird argument. And I thought, and I hear this a lot in Galaxy chat. Like, oh, yeah, you're hitting me with your 1,000,000 power ship. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's because I got it. Like, well, I have a bunch of Mayflowers, so I tend to hit people with Mayflowers, too. That's kind of fun. But they're all strong, too, now. Those are my babies.
I know they are. You are the Mayflower King.
Yeah, I might be the Duke of D3s here pretty soon, too.
Cool.
Yeah, the Lord of Legionaries. Just wait a little while. I'm working on some stuff.
The D3 is probably the only ship I don't have.
I finally got it. I mean, I just got friendly with the Klingons, and I only had like 78,000 credits. So I got that in the Bortus. I had the Bortus halfway because just killing Klingons for so long.
Right.
I never thought I was going to get the D3. I had the hijacked one finally, and it's like, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's not that great.
Sorry.
I have all the hijacked ships. I think they're beautiful, but they're useless.
I am really sorry. Yet, yes, they are beautiful. They are absolutely useless in this game.
Well, they're herpes. I mean, you can't get rid of them, man. I've got them. I'm stuck with them.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You can scrap them for Rialta parts, I think.
Oh, really? I don't even know if you can scrap them.
You may not be able to.
Yeah, everybody always makes fun of me when I pull that out. And I'm like, because, man, the Mayflower it's beautiful. It's dark, and it's got like a little yellow lines on it. I mean, it's my favorite one.
They are very pretty ships. They're just absolutely useless. It's not even like they get the benefit of being hijacked.
Yeah, they hijacked them and painted them and said, oh,
right.
We have another material we have to use. Does it make it faster? No.
No.
Does it make it better? No. It's just
Does it make it more powerful?
No. It's a new paint job. I don't think that's what Khan's all about, you know?
I don't think Khan cares about paint jobs.
No. He was kicking butt with the Reliant, man. And that's why I like the Mayflower. It reminds me of the Reliant. And
that's fair.
And it was like, man, and then I just kind of got hooked, and then people made fun of me, so I just doubled down. Like, why are you building Mayflowers? Well, because people said it's dumb.
I can.
Yeah, that's dumb to do. Don't do that. Don't build a Mayflower. I'm like, I don't tell everybody to do that. If somebody says, I'm thinking about building the Saladin or the Mayflower, I'm like, okay, well, I have 4 Mayflowers, and I'm building some more. But don't do it. I mean, when I get to... I'm 38. When I get to 39 and I build that next dock, and then when I finally decide to buy that G dock or whatever, I'll have 6 spots. And I don't know what kind of a Mayflower King I would be without 6 Mayflowers. I feel like
that is a very true statement.
I feel like a fraud.
You cannot be the Mayflower King without 6 Mayflowers on your 6 docks.
Yeah.
It doesn't work otherwise.
It's a prerequisite, I think. So right now I don't have any extra docks. I didn't spend the money. Maybe I will. I'm kind of in a $20 a month phase.
I'm going to do that.
Well, do you guys follow Ro over there?
We do. More than most, actually.
So Ro for you, is it like the normal Ro, or would you change something about it if you could?
Ro, for me, pretty much works as is. I mean, the only thing I would change is the floating warship thing. Warships are only floating if they are either regenerating shields or they're in the midst of doing dailies and they're at work.
Yeah. Now there's a third option there. When I can't do it anymore because everyone loves me except the augments, is when they're grinding passively. But that's still like, come on, man. Somebody's at work and they're trying to grind.
And that's my problem with it. I mean, if you are actively grinding or even passively grinding in, I don't care what system you're in. Yes, there's a PvP aspect to it, but you can PvP crew a Kumari to kill a PMC mid-level, I don't know, pick whatever, Centurion, for example.
Yeah, if they're out there grinding, they're not protected from you.
Exactly. And yes, it's a PvP game, but that's bullshit PvP.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're just looking for PD, power destroyed.
Exactly. And it's everybody's favorite useless stat in this game.
Everybody keeps saying that. Everybody I talk to is like, you know what the most useless stat is? Power destroyed.
And yet everybody else seems to think that is the ultimate stat.
Well, maybe when I interview somebody from Hunt, they'll be the exception to the rule. I think they kind of live by that.
Some of them.
Yeah. I miss passive grinding. I can't do it right now because we are under assault from a larger force at the moment.
For what it's worth, we'll go back to my don't be a dick
Yeah.
philosophy on the game.
Yeah, just be cool. And let me tell you, my first name in the game was the Dick Weaver. Because if you said Dick Weaver, it wouldn't let you.
Right.
So I had to be the Dick Weaver. And then the rest I changed later. So
I understand that.
Are you guys in territory? What do you think about territory? Do you go down there?
We were in territory. We were very much involved in territory. And then we got evicted from territory and then forced out of every possible territory.
I remember this because you guys and EK were really good at being OPC for a little while there. And that's where I get my dinner. Now, for a very long time, I never hit CFG. But somewhere along the line, they decided to make a joke out of that. So I now do, but I don't do it very much.
OPC is OPC.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you find someone OPC, you deserve it more than they do. That's just the way it is.
And I suggest everyone make a run or two through territory space because there's a lot of OPC there.
Some yes, some no.
Yeah, I keep saying, hey, EK, don't stop doing what you're doing because I love you for it.
My problem in territory is I have friends everywhere. Almost everywhere, I should say. There are certain alliances I won't even venture into because they are personal friends of mine. I can't say the same for my alliance, but me personally, I don't even venture into friend space.
Let me tell you, I hit Sancho one time accidentally. and I apologized immediately, and he was like, dude, I was like shocked. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, did he just hit me? And I was like, no, I'm so sorry. I came into your area and I thought you were OPC, and it was an honest mistake. And he was like, I knew something was up because you don't hit me. I was like, yeah, my bad.
Sancho was one of my true friends in this game.
He's a good guy.
No, he absolutely is. We go back to my Z Coalition days.
Yeah, we almost, I'll tell you, my little band of pirates, we were ARG. It was like 16 of us, I think, max. That's about as big as I can grow an alliance before I melt down. But we were in negotiations. We had just joined Snag. We just merged with Snag.
I remember Snag.
And you guys were at war with Snag. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to go kill, the Z Coalition. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know about that. So we actually were in talks with Ant. And we were like, look, we're not going to attack you. And then we just left Snag. Like most of us. There were a couple of people we could not get a hold of. But we just left. And we were like, okay, that's not for us. It's not for us. And it was a weird time. And then Snag fell apart. So you guys won, I guess. It's a long time ago.
But that also kind of pre-stages what I'm going to say about this. Our portion of the Z Coalition was the redheaded stepchild of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We ultimately left because they were making decisions that affected us and only us because we were weaker than them.
So you guys left the coalition.
That's how we ultimately wound up in ZFG.
Wow. I didn't know that. I always wondered how things kind of... One day there was a Z coalition, and then I remember next time I looked, there wasn't a Z coalition. There was, different... I don't even know what the names were back then. I don't know if they were cold and pizza right away. Maybe not.
No, I've actually been trying to remember this for this interview. We were Zeke, cold was Zen. I don't remember what pizza was, but and I hate to use the word politics, but ultimately the politics became what they were, that we decided to disband, and we were actually trying to merge with Cold, but the math just didn't work. So we as Zeke kind of went on our own for a while, and then, like I said, I made friends with Heather Ann and Mal, and we wound up working out the merger with CFG, and that's where we are.
Well, is that guy Tex still with you guys? Is he still around?
Who's that?
I think his name was Tex. It was something Tex.
Tex?
I know he was on Discord for a while.
Tex, I think, alliance-wise, I think he was PRTN, maybe.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Okay, he might have left.
But he was a good friend of ours. He was on one of our servers.
Another pervert. Let's just be real. I love the guy.
I love him too, partially for that. But A, he was a great guy. B, I think he had some personal issues and kind of backed away from everything for a while. He's poked his head back in recently just to say hi.
Well, real life's real life, you know. We have to take care of that first.
Real life is first and always. And my friends in this game come first, and their real lives come first. So I will defend that to the end of my being.
Well, that being said, what's your favorite alliance besides ZFG, and why? And it can be an old one that's not around anymore, you know?
No, I'm going to go real current life. My favorite alliance is two of them. It's LVE and Inc. And it's strictly because of the people that I know there.
Those are two new choices. I think I haven't gotten those before, so that's good.
Not surprised, but I'm all about the friendship and the family I have in this game. And they are spread between those two.
I like a lot of guys in Ink. There's a lot of Fury there. I was Fury at one time. So I always know those guys and like those guys. Well, what's your least favorite alliance and why?
I don't know if I have a least favorite alliance.
You just don't have a least favorite alliance in the game.
I really don't. Because I'm friends with everybody. And I make a point of being friends with everybody.
You sure it's not those no guys, though? You sure it's not no?
I have friends there, too.
Darn it. What about Piff? You gotta hate Piff, right?
I can't hate Piff. Mossy and Keds are two of my best friends in this game.
Look, man, I have never hit a Piff. Never. In all these years, I've never hit a Piff.
If I had the power to, I would have wrangled with RLV a time or two, but his best ship I could strap all of my ships to and still not dent his.
Now, I've done some testing. I've let Ked hit my my sarcophagus to do a test. And they've hit me before, but I'm not going to break that streak. It's kind of my thing. Going back to when, Pop and B were over there. It was always kind of like, and maybe before your time, but ZFG was allied with Piff at one time.
We are still friendly with Piff.
Now, I'll tell you the truth. I voted against that alliance when I was in ZFG. But it was only because we were at war and we needed allies and I didn't want Piff to get hit. So I voted against it, And I fought hard, but we lost. And that was another split in ZFG. So you've been playing for, basically you've had the game downloaded as long as I have, basically. I think December 4th was the first screenshot I can find. But
I've had the game as long as you. I've been loosely associated with it for about 8 months after. And it was basically log in, and at that level, it took about 32 seconds to finish whatever you're doing at that level. And I hung out in GC for a while, which is how I know you and some of the other GC denizens.
Man, you missed the original GOT days.
I did.
You totally missed the glory days. But that's okay. Your little alliance there, ZFG, was actually a member of the GOT Mega Alliance. And they were G with a /OT.
I think I know about this.
Yeah.
Or have heard rumor of.
I think Sarge and I talked about it too. So if you've heard the Sarge interview, we really go into it. I really love the idea of having, like, I think we had 5 at one time, alliances, and it was,
Sounds right.
Yeah, it fell apart, but I think it was inevitable. Well, what makes you log into the game every day? I think I know the answer.
I know you know the answer. I log into the game for the friends I play with. And to a looser extent, but not much looser, the friends I engage in GC. I am in a very good place right now with Heather and John and Odie and Odd, and we even had Fry come back this week just to say hi.
Really, that little ghost came back, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. But those are the friends and connections I play this game for at this point. I mean, I talked to you, I talked to Ronan, I talked to a multitude of other people just to say hi. And I don't care what side of whatever war they're on, they are all friends of mine.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. EMC's killing us right now, and I prefer it when they joke around with me because I know these guys. It just makes it a fun war. Sometimes they don't.
Is it fun when a ship the size of your base hits you?
It is if you don't take it too seriously.
That's fair.
Yeah, I know that they're just following orders, and if I was in an alliance like that and have been, I would do the same thing.
Would you?
Well, I have. I may play a part more than I would actually attack, probably. I may hit somebody to get a screenshot and send it back to my boss, you know?
Fair.
But they're a formidable opponent. We choose not to engage.
They are the Death Star versus an individual Ewok.
They're huge, man. I don't want to knock them. I've been on an anti-EMC run a long time ago. I've been pro EMC. I've been pro ska. I've been anti-ska. Right now I'm pro everybody. I got to know Ska in an interview, and he's a cool dude. He's just a normal guy. Okay, so if you could change one thing about the game, what would it be? And it can be two things.
I've only got one. And it's all I can think of at this time. But if your ship is bigger than my station, you should not be allowed to hit me.
That's a good one.
It's all I've got.
Man, I would, and you're talking basically about level restrictions in a way, right?
I am. I mean, I will give you level ranges for PvP, and I'm not against PvP. What I am against is you being able to hit my biggest ship with your smallest ship and still taking no damage because you're that far ahead of me.
As a 38, I can hit a 25. That seems kind of low. Like I shouldn't be able to hit a 25.
A 25, if it's a strong 25, they've got a Max Kumari, which is probably their best ship.
Yeah.
Which is, if they've camped out for a while, max research, 600K?
Yeah, I mean they're not, but they're not ready for a 2 million power ship.
And you're a 38, so it's a 3.5 million power ship. And I'm sorry if I insult your actual strength, but I'm just being in general.
I'm just under 3 million, so I'm not quite as powerful as I should be. I'm a very weak 38. And it's because I've rushed. I'm rushing as fast as I can to 39 to get that next dock and to upgrade my Franklin A and sit there until, I don't know, until forever, I guess, until I decide to go higher.
Wasn't going to call you out on that.
I'm rushing, man. I shouldn't. I'm breaking all my rules from back in the day of level everything up and then go up.
You are breaking every rule I know you used to follow.
Right now, I'm just building guns for my station. That's all I'm doing because they're like 35 and I need them to be 38. Yeah, that's a good thing to change. I would limit it to 10, honestly. I'd be fine hitting 28s. I mean, that would be a challenge that'd be a challenge for a one shot on a base.
10 would be fair. Well, 10 would be legit. 5 would be fair.
Yeah, I think as you get higher, I think the range might get get smaller.
That I absolutely agree with. As you get higher, the range should get smaller.
That's why I don't like territory, man. I don't need to be hit by a 59 or a 54 or a 46. Well, let me ask you this. This is not game. We're out of the game zone right now. We're in the Star Trek zone. What is your favorite Star Trek franchise?
Ooh.
Did I get you? Is that a good one?
That was a curveball. Favorite franchise is DS9.
Oh, man, good. Okay, both of us, we're the same. Good choice. And so maybe let me ask you this. Who's your favorite captain?
Gonna go wild card on this one, but Janeway.
You like Janeway?
I did.
I liked Voyager as a whole, to be honest. It's not my favorite, but it was when I was just getting out of high school. And as a nerd, I had a Voyager poster on the back of my dorm room wall, or my door. And can you imagine how many chicks that scared off?
The list is long but distinguished.
Yeah. Oh, you like Star Trek? Okay, cool. Okay. Well,
I can go other avenues if you want.
What? Okay, go for it. Let's do it. What's your favorite Star Wars ship?
Star Wars ship. Gotta go Millennium Falcon.
It's a good one. I like a B-Wing, to be honest. You ever seen that thing?
I have.
I like it. I only like it because I owned it as a kid. That and the cockpit spun as you turned it. So the pilot was always level.
And as it should be.
So who's your favorite Sith?
My favorite Sith?
Yeah, bad guy, I guess. And you can't say Snoke. Because that's nobody's favorite.
He's like 19th on the list, so you're good. I would have to go with Maul just from the potential for that character.
Yeah, he didn't play out very well in the movies, but in the animated stuff, he's got a big part.
That's what I mean. I would like to have seen, and hoping Disney's paying attention. You're gonna have all of the origin stories?
I don't think they're gonna have the same actor do it. That's for sure.
They'd be smart if they did.
Well, I think he's become embroiled in some controversy. I don't know what exactly, but his last name is Park. His last name is Park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a martial artist, but I think he assaulted somebody on a set or something like that.
He's a martial artist, and he was the stunt double and coordinator for the entire prequel franchise.
Oh, that's hilarious. He was, yeah. I like his lightsaber. That was unique. That was like the first ever.
The whole double lightsaber thing?
Yeah. I thought that was cool. Like, that was... I didn't like that he killed Qui-Gon Jinn, because he was cool.
Well, that allowed and good storytelling, but that allowed the entire Star Wars story to continue.
I know, right? So what do you think about the Death Star? Is that cool, or is it just kind of like overkill?
It depends on the capability of the opposition.
Yeah, what if they have one ship, one small fighter? What do you think? It could happen. I've seen it. I've seen it in a movie one time.
I've seen that movie too.
Yeah. I had that last part. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I had a tape recorder that I carried around with me everywhere, and I recorded stuff. I made little interview shows as well, like when I was like, I don't know, 8. And I had that end part from when there was like a countdown to the Rebel base being in range. And then from then on to the end of the movie, I had on a tape, like a 30-minute tape. And I played that thing over and over and over again. And we had parakeets in the background chirping throughout the whole thing. But I listened to that thing probably 1,000 times. Probably almost wore out the tape. That last few minutes, the Rebel base is in range,
Right.
Oh, man, that was good stuff. So what about Battlestar Galactica? You like Battlestar Galactica?
I do.
I really enjoyed that series, old and new.
I watched the old as a kid, and I was a fan of the story and the universe that they built for it. The reboot on sci-fi, as they reimagined it, was everything that the original should have been. So,
let me tell you something. My wife just cut her hair, and she reminds me of Starbuck. That's how cool my life is right now.
It's good to be king.
Yeah. It's really cool. I love the whole, just the story and, like, what was his name? Dr. Baltar? Gaius Baltar?
Yep.
He was such an annoying character, but such a cool thing. He was going crazy, basically, but was he? Because he really was, I guess, getting communicated with in some way.
And at the end of the story, you realize that he actually wasn't crazy from the start.
Yeah. She was in his head, but she was talking to him.
Yeah.
And he was instrumental in the whole show.
Absolutely. I mean, we can argue what the end story was and should have been, but they led that to this point. So,
I'll tell you another kind of storyline that I like was the whole Boomer and Hilo, when they were trapped on, I think it was Caprica, and they were like, of course, he didn't know she was a Cylon. It was just that's when that's when the baby was conceived.
Yes.
But that was just that whole time, like, it was so creepy because there's nobody on the planet. Total devastation. The buildings are there, but no humans. Just weird.
The combination of universe building and environment building and character building, it was just perfect unison through that entire series.
It was awesome. During that time, because I watched it after, just in a row. I just watched. I had a friend who had I don't know if it was called a pirating site or whatever, but he had everything on there, and he gave me like the password to it one time, and at our job, and every day I would stay an hour after work, and I would watch an episode every day. And, of course, a lot of episodes, but sometimes two, but most of the time one. And it was really good, man. You really get into it. You really feel like you're part of it, because it's unlike Star Trek, which Star Trek is, for the most part, like Next Generation, so clean, so proper. Maybe that's what I like about DS9. It's a little dirtier, a little grittier, more real. Battlestar Galactica was that, right? I mean, to you, maybe to me, it felt like it was like, this is possible.
Well, if you joined Battlestar Galactica from the first episode, you were either done or all in from that first episode. 33 seconds.
Oh my gosh. That is such an awesome, it's awesome episode.
But that was the introduction.
Yeah.
You're either out or you're in.
Yeah.
And if you're in, you're all in.
You do the jump, and then you do the countdown.
Yep.
You're tired. It doesn't matter. We're all tired. We have to keep going. Yeah, I forgot. That was the first episode. And I liked that. What was the other Battlestar that joined them?
Crap. Pegasus.
Pegasus. That was a cool story too. One that you might kind of recognize as being similar to the Nova in Voyager. Remember that?
Yes.
They kind of went cannibalistic, kind of. They went anything to survive.
There were two storylines in Voyager that went down that path. There was that one, and there was the Year of Hell.
And which one was that? I remember the first one. What was the second one? What was the plot?
When they ran into I forget the name of the aliens, but they had the ship that could basically rearrange time for a specific planet or species, and it kind of launched the Year from Hell.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that one out. That one sounds good.
Oh, it was a pretty awesome storyline.
I just know never go over Warp 10. You'll turn into a lizard and you'll sleep with your boss.
Well, the lizard is bad. The sleep with your boss is questionable, depending on your boss.
You know what episode I really liked about Voyager was when they found that tiny wormhole and they contacted that Romulan scientist.
Yes.
From the past.
That was awesome storytelling.
And then you get that freaking Tuvok to tell you the truth at the end after he's gone. Like, he just dropped,
Yep.
That's what I liked about that. That was kind of...
Voyager was very underrated in the old Star Trek canon.
I liked it. I liked it better than Enterprise, actually.
Enterprise was interesting. They could have done so much more with it than they did.
And that terrible ending, last episode thing.
Oh, don't even get me started there.
Yeah, not cool.
I don't even consider that as an episode, much less any kind of canon.
Now, the DS9 last episode, dude, I was bawling.
Oh, DS9 I was all in for that one.
Man, was it Nick Fontaine?
I think so.
That's a good, I guess, holodeck character, man. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And now we can get Nog in the game. So maybe that'll be cool.
That's where we are building towards.
Yeah, we're about to get to Deep Space Nine in a few arcs, I bet. It's going to be a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
I just wanted to define.
Yeah. Give me a skin to make my base look like DS9. Give me a wormhole that takes me across the map to some new area.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm going to be let down terribly. Just like always. Maybe the TOS officers, I like those guys. But
I like those guys. Problem is they could do so much more if they actually incentivized the events to progress the stories they're offering.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you like me, and do you have like a ton of officers that you're just like halfway there, or 3/4 there, or a quarter there, because you didn't get them during that arc, and now you're just like, okay, when do I get a chance?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I'm so close to Tasha Yar, and then I look at her I look at her stats, and I'm like, well, she's not that great.
They present the stories. They don't actually incentivize you to complete them.
I don't like this. There's a storyline right now, there's a mission that came with this arc that I can't complete. The ships are too strong. So I guess that is made for a higher level. It's made for a 40 and up.
Right.
But why even give me that right now?
It's not even that they're strength-wise 40 up. It's you can't see dark space, neither can I.
Yeah. I'm on the edge of it now. I'm in lower dark space, just so you know. At 38, get to 38, and they give you a mission to get to dark space.
Yes, 38 is the dark space mission. That's right.
Now, you need your Franklin A to get around up there, but once you get there, then you can pull your base there.
Right.
But I'm in the backyard of the big boys then. And they show up a lot more frequently.
Oh, yes.
Well, do you have any questions for me? Have you ever wanted to know one thing about DreamWeaver?
What is your philosophy on the game? And I preface that by including your philosophy on including all of, I hope I contributed, but all of the interviews you've done. How does that shape your vision of this universe we have?
That's a tough one because, the game is different than the interviews to me. But, and of course, they're linked.
Then pick one or the other environment to answer it in.
Well, I'll tell you, I like the interviews because I get to know people. And people that I've been friends with for years, which seems crazy. We've known each other for years, and we haven't talked to each other in voice. We've done text, and, it's hard to get the point across in a text or, on Galaxy Chat. Obviously, I'm very misunderstood on Galaxy Chat. I understand that. Sometimes intentionally so, but I want to tell everybody, never maliciously. I like to play pranks on people, yes. But the interviews are what's important to me right now. I could quit playing the game tomorrow. I love to do the interviews because it's not even for me, really. It's for you, and I think it's exciting, where you could, tell your family, hey, look, I'm on an interview on YouTube. How cool is that? And it just seems like likes don't matter. I mean, if I had 1 million likes, of course I would love that. If I had 100 likes, which is kind of what I get, sometimes more. It's not about likes at all. If I wanted to get likes, I would be doing Scarporin level 50 videos with my cap backwards, yelling bro at everybody. That's the truth. The truth is, I like you guys.
That's absolutely fair.
I like hanging out with you guys. It's called DreamWeaver and chill for a reason. I like to chill with people. This is just a fun thing. The game is the game, man. I like being a trickster. I like annoying people who take the game too seriously, and that's fun. But if
at the end of the day, we play this game, and you agree with this as much as I do. We are in this game for the friends we've made playing it.
Yeah, and I've resurrected a couple of people. Apparently, I'm partly responsible for bringing Zeus back. I brought Braun back from Blackwater Braun from retirement. So I'm trying to bring other people back too. You're welcome, Scopely. Well, let me ask you this question. This isn't about the game, and I thank you for asking me that question. I hadn't thought about it that way, so it was kind of cool to verbalize my thoughts, I guess. But this has nothing to do with the game. This is about you, man. This is real life. If you died today, how would you like to be remembered?
I struggle to answer this question because I have the smallest ego in the world. I want to know, and I don't need it verbalized. I don't need it shared. I want to know that I was a good guy and I helped my friends. All I care about. I don't want the recognition. I don't want the remembrance. I don't care if I actually remembered. What I care about is that I was actually able to help people and help my friends. Best way I could put it.
Well, BaggerVance, thanks for chilling with me.
It was my pleasure, my friend. Thank you for having me.